Hi there. Happy Thursday, almost the weekend. I wanted to share, finally, our story of what we did in August when we had the nasty bug hit our home. I've talked to so many people who have basically gotten hit right around the time that we did or since. I feel like every single day I get a phone call, a Facebook message, Instagram message, or a text of somebody new that's like, hey, we tested positive. What do we do? Or thank you for sharing what you shared. We were ready with all the things. And this is exactly how I felt when it hit our home, because I had done so much prep and watched so many videos. At first I thought last year, like, it seemed like we were around so many people and none of us got sick that I was like, okay. Then it was different this year. Some close friends of mine started getting sick and I'm like, okay, this is hitting really close to home. And so I woke up and I was like, let me make sure I've got all the things. And so I will say, you guys, that doesn't matter what sickness hits your house, anything that happens this fall, winter, it makes all the difference in the world to have the things that you need ahead of time. And we pretty much had all of it. I did not have my zinc. I had ordered it, but the zinc was still not there. But it's not fun when you're not feeling good to try to figure out what it is that you need. And also because a lot of people are Amazoning, takes at least a day or two to get to you. And those first 2 days are crucial. You can't get everything. A lot of the things that I'm going to share, you can't get at CVS. I don't know local places that have a nebulizer, for instance. And they're probably out there, but when you're really needing to rest and do what your body needs to heal, the last thing you want to do is have like that extra anxiety about like finding what you need. And so I wanted to do this video just to share what we did. And I believe that every single person needs to have a plan in place, because you don't know if it's going to come to you or not. There's no way to know when it's gonna happen. I was prepared, but we didn't know that it was gonna happen when it did. So August was a crazy month for us. I wanna say in that time where it all happened, there was a very high level of stress going on. My husband, Brandon, had an emergency surgery for his appendix that was removed. We didn't see that coming. So he was in the hospital. I had the kids. Of course, I was worried about him. Everything was fine, but it was just so high stress. And then he was going through that healing. And no, he did not pick it up in the hospital. I actually was the first one to get sick with the virus. And this was like 10 days or a week after he was out of the hospital. And then 3 days after that, he got it. So I actually was exposed first. And I will say, again, the healthiest people are getting sick. But I will say at that time, I think I was exposed a lot in the past year. But during that time, my sleep was really bad. And I was so stressed out. I wasn't taking some of the prevention supplements I'm going to talk about. And I also wasn't taking a full dose of my regular vitamins and supplements. And so that could have all added to just that perfect environment for when your immune system gets challenged and you're not sleeping well and you're stressed out. That's oftentimes when we get sick. Am I right? So I already knew that no matter what, we wanted to avoid the hospital, because I had watched a lot of videos and people sharing testimonies of just some of the protocols that are not working. And based on whatever, when you get yourself checked in, if you have to go get oxygen or something, you do you do go under their protocol, and a lot of times family can't visit. We wanted to avoid that. I wanted to make sure that we are prepared. And so right now, like the current protocol, if somebody does get sick, according to CDC, is go home, stay away from people, hydrate, and take over-the-counter medicine. So they say basically there's nothing you can do. Well, working in my line of work in natural health and wellness, I know there's a lot that we can do in order to help our bodies to heal and to help our bodies have more support. And so I've known that all along. There is plenty that we can do. And I have been following, as far as an actual protocol, I shared all of this in my blog post. And so I'm just gonna not go into detail as much as I do on the blog because I can share that. But there are plenty of doctors who have protocols that are working. And so I had already had the American Frontline Doctors protocol that we were set to use. And so I can link that up. But there's things that you can do just to help your immune system, to help with the breathing, and there's amazing supplements that people are using. And I am not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I am just going to share what we did that really helped and the things that we learned, because my heart is to help more people as well. And when you don't know what to do and you feel like maybe there's nothing that you can do, that's not true. So there is things that you can do, and I want people to feel empowered and to also remove a lot of the fear that's been attached to this virus, because fear is going to put you into a very bad place when you get sick. And when your body is trying to heal and trying to get better and to fight the virus, like, fear is the worst thing that can enter into your mind, because it will take your body down the opposite path of healing. And so knowing that you have tools in place, knowing other people's experiences that were positive and that were helpful, is going to really prepare not only your body physically, but your mindset, so that if you do get sick, you don't panic. Panic is not good. Anxiety is not good when your body is trying to rest, okay? And so going over some things that you can do, I will link all of this up into more detail. But number one, stock up now. Make sure that you have all of these things that you need. Now, everything I share, you don't necessarily need all of it, but there are certain things you definitely have to have. Don't put it off, because it could hit today or tomorrow and you're like, crap, I have to wait now a week to get my nebulizer. And this has probably been the biggest thing that I've seen people struggle with, is not having what they need. And so the top things I would say is that you need to have now: NAC. This helps so much. This is N-acetylcysteine, and I'll go into more detail, but NAC, as well as a nebulizer. It's for Facebook, Instagram. Some colloidal silver is what we nebulized for like the first 4 or 5 days. It's also great if you've been exposed or if you've been in a large crowd. It's good to use that nebulizer. And you also want to have a pulse ox. I don't have mine on me, but it's a little device. I linked it up. You want to make sure you have that, because that's how you check your oxygen levels at home, so that you don't have to go to the hospital just to check where your oxygen is. Because if somebody is feeling bad and they start to have anxiety and you just feel like, oh, and if there are some breathing issues, your oxygen might be totally fine, but you want to be able to check that at home. And you want to be able to, any type of thing that can help to maintain oxygen levels or raise oxygen levels, that's what you want to be able to do at home. So make sure you have the things in place. You want to have your zinc, your quercetin, vitamin D. Those are the main things. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that. The other thing is you want to have prescriptions ready in case you need them. And I say that especially in this crazy time we're living in right now, have this figured out before. We had to scramble a little bit I did not take any prescriptions, but for my husband who just got out of surgery, and also my mom was with us, who's 66, they did take prescriptions. And there are prescriptions that doctors are prescribing, and you can work with your doctor on that, or find a doctor, ask around. There's so many websites that actually put you in touch with a telemedicine doctor, or we have a local doctor here that is prescribing medications for the virus. And you want to make sure that you have that ready, because when you're sick, you can't often leave your house. You leave your house, and sometimes you can go to a doctor's office, but it's just better if you have it lined up. And so I will just make a note of that. Don't wait and try to find it after, because for my husband, he started taking medications on day 4. And that was only because it took us a couple days for the telemedicine doctor and everything to get to us. My mom started taking medications on day 1, and she did amazing, barely any symptoms. And so I talk more about this in the blog, but have your prescriptions ready if you want to go down that road. And yes, there are drugs that are being prescribed by doctors, and use your own discernment on that. You figure out what you are comfortable taking if you want to take something, but just have it figured out beforehand. As far as the supplements, so going back to the NAC, so this is an amino acid. It actually helps to loosen mucus in your lungs, and it's used in patients with cystic fibrosis, COPD. It's approved for that, and it's really an amazing supplement. I started taking this right away, and the second that I didn't feel good, when I woke up Wednesday morning, I could tell something was up. My husband started taking it, even though he was fine. My mom started taking it as well. So if you've been exposed, this is just, and I'm still taking it in recovery. I love the NAC. We never had any breathing issues. None of it ever went into our lungs, all 3 of us. And my husband, sometimes people are more prone to chest congestion. Normally when he gets sick, he does get it in his lungs. And so with this virus, it never even went. He had a little bit of chest heaviness, but we swear by NAC, and you should get this already. This is Pure Encapsulations. This is a really good brand. This actually decreases like a cytokine storm happening, which is where a lot of people get into trouble. And it helps with healthy lung tissue. It also protects your liver. If you're taking things like, Tylenol or Advil or some of those things for pain, this is just beneficial because it protects your liver as well as you're taking those things. It's a precursor to glutathione, which is like a super antioxidant. It just really helps to prevent breathing issues. So I swear by NAC. Make sure you have that. The nebulizer. So this is one I linked. It also has a kid's mask, and it's really easy to use. I, for the first 4 to 5 days, did colloidal silver. This is the one that I recommend. It's 10 ppm, and it's 99.99999% water. But colloidal silver, you can research all of the amazing benefits to it, but it really helps to just kill everything in your airways, lung, nose, and you just add it to the nebulizer just by itself, since it's mostly water. And you would actually just turn it on. You can see it coming out. And then you would inhale deeply through your lungs 3-4 times, and also through your nose. And then the kids did this as well. So if you've been around a large crowd, you can do this for prevention. This was amazing to help break things up. You don't want anything getting stuck in there. And like I said, this is for any type of sickness that you get. So whenever you get sick over this winter, this is a great thing to have and to be able to use. Now, I did not have this when we were sick, but I have it now. This Xlear nasal spray, it's non-toxic. Amazing reviews in regards to this virus and what people are finding after using it. But this is amazing. I would have this ready to go. And this is yesterday I had like allergies and my nose is running. And so I use this and it's amazing for just opening up those airways. So also good to clean out the nasal passages, which is what we want to be able to do if we've been exposed. So also with the nebulizer, we did this every day, like at least 3 to 5 times a day. And then the other thing that I think is really important to have is hydroxygen. I actually did not have this right away, but my girlfriend overnighted me some from Myrtle Beach, and I ended up having to use it because Brandon's oxygen levels dropped one morning to like 93, which was a little bit, you want to keep it up above 95. And so he had the roughest time. Again, he had just gone out of the hospital. He had just had antibiotics pumped through him from surgery and then got sick. So I was obsessing over him, and I had him. So what you do with this is you just take 2 drops and add it to the nebulizer of hydroxygen, and then he nebulized that, and within seconds it shot up to 97, 98. So I also use this just to keep oxygen levels higher. And so I think this is an absolute game changer for keeping oxygen levels higher at home so that you don't have to go to the hospital just to get oxygen. You want to think about what you can do at home so that you can recover at home, okay? So the other thing with the pulse ox, being able to check that, having a good pulse ox is so that even if you don't feel good and you're like, ugh, even if you're, having some chest heaviness, if your oxygen's fine, you are fine, right? You don't have to go just get oxygen. So it just helps with peace of mind. I also love this oscillococcinum. This is homeopathic medicine, and they are really easy. You just pop them in, they're little tablets. You open that up, they taste really good. And this is really great for flu-like symptoms, body aches, headache, fever, chills, fatigue. And so we took this a lot, all of us, just to help with the symptoms. We also took zinc and quercetin right away. This is on the prevention protocol too. Make sure you have this. We use Zinc Balance. Just make sure you have a high quality zinc. I like this one. It has the copper in there too. And we upped it to like 100 milligrams. There's a protocol that you can follow on if you're sick, but also for prevention, we're taking like 10 milligrams. So it's different when you're preventing versus when you're sick. Now, I want to speak real quick on why quercetin with the zinc. So the viruses actually reproduce on the inside of the cells, and it's important that the zinc gets to the inside of your cell to fight that virus. So it needs what's called an ionophore, and quercetin is a natural ionophore. The ionophore actually helps to carry it pushes particles through the cell wall inside the cell. And so you have to take these together, and this is the Designs for Health quercetin. Designs for Health is also a really good brand. And so taking this together actually helps zinc push through to fight that virus on the inside of the cell. So that's definitely part of the protocol. Vitamin D, Designs for Health, this is my favorite one. And this is a dropper. So they found like 80% of the people that get corona are deficient in vitamin D. So you want to make sure that your levels are above 40. You can easily get your vitamin levels checked. You can just make sure that you're supplementing. Always supplement with vitamin D, especially in the fall and winter, and take extra. And so this is what I was taking on top of what I normally take. I always take a daily vitamin pack. So vitamins and minerals, fish oils, and antioxidants. That's a whole food vitamin pack that I always take. I've taken doTERRA Lifelong for the past 8 years. There is quercetin in there. There is vitamin D, vitamin C, all your Bs. But during the sickness, you want to take extra to get those milligrams up. Okay, so that was something that I took a full dose every single day, and that helps so much. sleep is definitely an issue when you're sick, but sleep is important so that your body can heal. And so you want to think about what you have for sleep support already. If you're a great sleeper, awesome. But when you get this virus, I will say, like, we had some bad nights of sleep. And what helped is using extra sleep support. Melatonin, Brandon did great with, and that's actually on the protocol. I don't like the way it makes me feel. And so I took Serenity and Copaiba soft gels, which I linked up, and that really helped. But a lot of people, use melatonin during the time where they don't feel good, and that really helps to actually pass out and stay asleep. doTERRA. Never have I been so thankful for doTERRA than when we were sick. I'm going to share what I used from that standpoint. Emotionally, it is a huge benefit to have essential oils because they help with calming, they help with stress, and they really help to just make you feel more lifted up. But physically, probably the biggest thing that was a game changer was the humidifier. So you don't want things to dry up. You want to make sure that your cough is productive. We actually never had a cough. My mom is the only one that got a cough after she was better. But this humidifier helped me so much when I was sleeping. You just turn it on. You can put oils in here. I put On Guard and Breathe and AirX. But this puts out so much water throughout the night while you're sleeping, and you can have it on during the day. That is really good for any time that you get sick, so you don't get that dry cough. And then you want to have these oils, AirX, On Guard, and Breathe. Breathe, you put all over your chest. That opens up your airways. I diffuse this. I put that in the humidifier. On Guard's warm and spicy. It's got the cinnamon. It's got the clove in there. Clove is like the highest antioxidant. That's really good when you're fighting something. I took DDR Prime and On Guard soft gels. I took one of each every 3 hours. So every 3 hours, I took this in. I mean, we were taking so many supplements when we were fighting this. I mean, I just lined it up like all the time. So this is helpful for cellular repair. This is what we always take to fight any type, if we have the flu or if we have any infection. I did during the day take I took Deep Blue capsules for pain because I had really bad body pain in my hips for like 7 days. So at night, I took Advil in order to sleep better. But during the day, I didn't have to. I took Deep Blue and I took turmeric capsules to help with the pain. And I took a lot of Deep Blue oil and I put Deep Blue on that area. It was really weird how a lot of women I've talked to said they had the same thing where they had that like pain in their hip. And I never get body aches. So it was really strange. It was like just hanging out right here. You can feel a little bit more down when you have this virus. That's how I felt. It's like a mindset, spiritual attack. And the more we're learning about it, I mean, it does seem like it's a total bioweapon. It doesn't behave naturally like a lot of viruses do. But frankincense, I did a drop on my tongue. Melissa, that's an amazing oil, antiviral oil. Every hour, a drop on my tongue. I did that one. And if you don't like the taste, your mouth feels weird when you're sick sometimes. So these veggie caps, you actually just drop it in here and pop it like that. And so for things like thyme, you'll never taste it, you just swallow it. So those are really good to have. For the kids, they did really well, but I just noticed symptoms with my oldest. He said he had leg pain, and at night he was like, "Mom, I'm hot," but it was like very minor. Every day they played like normal. My little baby girl, who's a year, she had swollen gums, which I've heard can be one of the symptoms, but she's also teething, and she acted normal. They were eating and drinking, and my 4-year-old, you couldn't tell if there was anything up. So Most kids do really great with this, but I was still making sure that every day I gave them fish oils. I do Mary Ruth's Organic, Mary Ruth's Organic zinc. This is liquid, so it's very easy for my 1-year-old to just drop it in her mouth. I also have zinc gummies by Pure Encapsulations. They ask for these every single day. They're so good. I eat these too. They've been on doTERRA chewables. This is a chewable vitamin for kids every day. And probiotics, that gut support. This is the kids probiotic. Tastes really good. It's like a pixie stick. And they get one of these every single day. So that's what we did for the kids. Make sure we also had some vitamin C gummies by Mary Ruth's Organic. So not all like gummy vitamins are good. But Mary Ruth's, I really like hers. So I think that covers pretty much what we did from a doTERRA standpoint during it. Nutrition is key. I linked a lot more in my blog post about what we did. This virus steals your appetite for a lot of people. I dropped like 7 pounds, which is a little crazy. I've since gained most of it back. My husband dropped like 10 or 12 pounds. We were eating, but it was just weird. Like food, I had to like kind of make myself eat, so I wasn't feeling nauseous or anything like that. But having nutrition in place, smoothies, having that ready like the second that you're not feeling well is making sure you do an Instacart order, have somebody pick up things at the grocery store. I linked all of it. Bone broth, you're not gonna wanna make your own, so get the kettle on fire. So we did a ton of that, ton of soups. And that nutrition part really helped us to turn the corner too. So make sure you're ready in that aspect. For recovery, so afterwards you hear about people, having long haul stuff, and you want to make sure that anytime you're sick, you get like anything residual out of your body. And so many people notice differences in their gut. Now, I did actually notice a little bit. So I went on the Megaspore probiotics. This is something that people go on after they go to the hospital or they get surgery. So I had this already for Brandon. It's a probiotic. It's not cheap, but really good to take a cycle of this for like 60 days. Fatigue, I didn't struggle with that. I went to get IV therapy right after. Brandon and I made appointments right after we were out of that time where we were in quarantine, and we went to get IV infusions, and that was awesome. So if you can do that locally, great. So I took something I linked called Viradchem. This is something by Cellcore, and I'm taking this every day. It's a binder, and it helps to bind to any viruses, radiation, chemicals in your body. So I'll be taking this for the next 60 days just to make sure things are all cleared out. I did notice a week after I was totally fine that my sleep was messed up. And a lot of people are reporting that. I never have sleep issues. And so getting your vitamin levels checked, getting your hormones checked after, which is what I did, and making sure that you prioritize your health, I think it's a really good reset. I will say on the positive, after you go through that, you put so much more focus on your body and your health care, because health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. You can't enjoy life. And so IV therapy, taking, high quality probiotics, taking care of your gut, maybe doing a cleanse, not one that you don't eat because you need to eat, but just doing things that are going to be really beneficial for your body, self-care, going to bed at 9 o'clock, doing a lot of Epsom salt baths. That's what I've been doing, focusing on de-stressing, filling your cup with your family, and just working through some of those emotions that might have been released during your sickness. A lot of people talking about no smell, that they're still struggling with that like months after. And so clove, I got my smell back like 3 days after I started feeling better, but it wasn't 100%. Now I feel like it's 100%, but you want to be intentional. It's a neurological issue when you can't smell, so you need to retrain your brain. A lot of people have clove that they're using to get their smell back, eucalyptus, rosemary, and cinnamon. you would actually just go like this, and you need to think about the oil. So I think about, I tell my brain, this is clove. I think about a clove and I breathe it in. I couldn't smell clove at first, and now I can completely smell it. Cinnamon, same thing. Peppermint is another one. And you want to rub some oils here, like I did helichrysum right here to get my smell back. And then tea tree oil, you put a drop in your thumb and put it on the roof of your mouth. All of those things you want to do like 3 times a day, and you'll see your smell. You hopefully would see your smell come back. But essential oils, I don't know how people do it without them, because I mean, this is working with your olfactory nerve, like getting your smell back. I think you got to be using essential oils. I do want to bring up Arbor Vitae. This is another oil I think that I craved it when I was fighting the virus, and I could smell it too, which is funny. But so yeah, this is really good to fight infections and to help your immune system. Other than that, you guys, the main advice I have is to not be in fear, to know that you're going to be okay, and to align your mind with truth and hope, and believing that no matter what comes your way, that you are a fighter and you will get through it, and that you will use wisdom. You follow peace. You don't follow fear, and you follow people that are offering hope and healing, and stay away from anything in your life that is putting you on that fear path. So your mind is really powerful, and that's what I realized too when we were under the weather is, your body, I believe we're mind, body, spirit. I feel like our bodies will often follow the mind. So if your mind is in agreement with something really dark, and I mean, this is a nasty virus that's going around. If your mind is in agreement with that, then your body will follow your mind. So align your mind with positivity, with hope, and definitely if anything happens, just know, even if I don't know you and you're watching this, that you can message me and I will pray for you. I will, give you whatever tips that I can. And I hope that this does bring some encouragement and offer just a resource of a family that went through it and made it and had a good experience using some tools that we were already prepared with. And I thank God that we had these things in our arsenal, and that I know what I know. But I know that a lot of people don't know. They don't know what to do. They don't think there's anything that they can do, and they just are fed fear. So I'm not okay with that, and I just wanted to do my part. So hopefully feel free to share this. I'd love to hear your experiences, any comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Okay. Hey, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, anyone that was live.